The eclipse rising. The holographic display illuminated Commander Nora Rice's face with a ghostly blue glow as she studied the redouts. The vast shipyard orbiting Europa stretched before her viewing port, dominated by the angular silhouette of humanity's greatest achievement, the TSS Eclipse. Unlike the utilitarian designs favored by the Galactic Concorde or the organic curves of the Zinthari vessels, the Eclipse was something entirely different. A jagged shadow against the stars, its asymmetrical frame seemingly defying conventional engineering. "She doesn't look like much," remarked Admiral Hassan, stepping beside her. His weathered face betrayed nothing, but Reyes knew him well enough to detect the pride in his voice. "That's the point," Reyes replied, her eyes never leaving the ship. "The Concorde expects us to build something predictable, something that follows their technological guidelines. And instead, we've built a monster." The Eclipse represented 5 years of clandestine development, conducted beneath the watchful eyes of alien inspectors who believed humanity was obediently following the technological restrictions imposed on all newcomers to the galactic stage. 80 years since first contact, and Earth was still treated like a child at the adults' table, allowed to participate in interstellar politics, but denied access to the technologies that could elevate humanity beyond its appropriate developmental stage. "The Singularity Core passed final testing yesterday," Hassan said quietly, sliding a data tablet toward her. Dr. Takahashi's team managed to stabilize the quantum field. Reyes examined the figures with growing amazement. "These output readings can't be right." "They are. The core doesn't just bend space, it creates a localized pocket of altered physics. Nothing like this exists in any known species arsenal. Because it violates at least 7 different Concorde technology restrictions," Reyes murmured. "Restrictions that have kept us dependent and vulnerable for decades," Hassan countered, his tone hardening, while the Korethi expand unchecked, claiming system after system, including 3 with human colonies. The Korethi Dominion, a species of silicon-based life forms with an expansionist ideology, had joined the Concorde centuries before humans made first contact. Their crystalline bodies housed minds of remarkable computational ability, making them natural strategists. They had been steadily encroaching on human-settled systems for years, using their influence within the Concorde to legitimize their claims through historical right and cultural significance arguments. Diplomatic protests had proven useless. The Concorde's non-interference policies prevented them from stepping in, and humanity's officially sanctioned ships were no match for Korethi cruisers. "The Concorde inspectors leave tomorrow," Hassan said. "Once they're gone, we'll install the core. You'll have 2 weeks to prepare your crew before the Eclipse's maiden voyage." Reyes nodded, feeling the weight of command settling onto her shoulders. "And if we're discovered, Earth will claim no knowledge of the project. As far as official records are concerned, the Eclipse is a standard patrol vessel conducting routine exercises." Hassan's eyes met hers. "But make no mistake, Commander, if the Korethi push at Proxima Centauri as intelligence suggests, the Eclipse will be humanity's only chance." 3 weeks later, Reyes stood on the bridge of the Eclipse as it prepared for its first jump. Her hand-picked crew of 250 moved with practiced efficiency, though the tension was palpable. Many of them had trained on simulators for months, but the actual ship was far more advanced than anything they had experienced. "Singularity core at optimal parameters," reported Lieutenant Chung from Engineering. "Quantum field stable. Structural integrity at 100%, added Lieutenant Voss from Tactical. "Weapon systems online and calibrated." Reyes settled into the command chair. "Initiate jump sequence. Destination: Proxima Centauri." The core engaged with a subtle vibration that ran through the ship. Outside the viewport, space itself seemed to fold inward, creating a tunnel of warped light. The Eclipse slipped into this distortion and vanished from Earth's solar system. The journey, which would have taken a conventional human vessel 3 days at maximum FTL, took the Eclipse 17 minutes. "Transition complete," announced the navigation officer. We've arrived at Proxima Centauri. Maintain stealth protocols, Rise ordered. The Eclipse's singularity core allowed it to exist partially out of phase with normal spacetime, rendering it nearly invisible to conventional sensors. They didn't have to wait long. Within hours, the long-range sensors detected the Corathi fleet, 12 vessels of varying sizes entering the system, moving with determined precision toward New Eden, the human colony of 30,000 souls. They're broadcasting an ultimatum, Communications Officer Garcia reported, his face grim. Humans have 48 hours to evacuate the planet before they begin reclamation procedures. Reyes felt a cold fury building inside her, open a direct channel to the Corathi flagship. Her first officer, Commander Lai, shot her a concerned look. That will reveal our position. It's time they knew we were here, Reyes replied, rising to her feet. Let's show them what humanity can really do. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing the crystalline form of a Corathi commander. Its faceted body glittered with inner light, translucent appendages manipulating controls beyond the visual field. This is Commander Nora Reyes of the Terran spaceship Eclipse, she announced. Your fleet is preparing to attack a legally established human settlement. Withdraw immediately. The Corathi commander's crystalline surface pulsed with what might have been amusement. The humans send a single ship. Its artificial voice sounded almost pitying. This system belongs to the Corathi by ancestral right, recognized by the Concord. Your presence here is noted, but irrelevant. Perhaps you should scan my ship more carefully, Rice suggested. We detect no unusual. The Corathi paused as alarms visibly flashed across its control interface. Impossible. Your energy signature violates Concord restrictions. The last time your kind attacked human colonists, we had no choice but to withdraw, Reyes said evenly. That changes today. This is your final warning. The Corathi commander's crystalline body flashed with angry red light. Your primitive species overreaches. The Concord will hear of this violation. The transmission cut abruptly. They're powering weapons, Voss reported. All vessels converging on our position. Bring the singularity core to full capacity, Reyes ordered. Phase shift at my command. The Corathi ships opened fire, a barrage of energy weapons slicing through the space where the eclipse had been moments before. But the human vessel was no longer fully present in normal spacetime. The singularity core had shifted it partially out of phase, causing the Corathi weapons to pass harmlessly through its location. Phase shift complete, Chang confirmed. The core is stable. They can't see us, Lai observed, watching the tactical display as the Corathi vessels fired blindly. No, they can't, Reyes agreed. Bring us alongside their command ship. Prepare the particle lance. The Eclipse glided through space like a ghost, untouchable and unseen. The particle lance, another technology far beyond what humanity was supposed to possess, powered up silently. Target their propulsion systems only, Reyes instructed. We disable, not destroy. The Eclipse fired. For a moment, the particle lance created a visible connection between the human ship and the Corathi flagship as it phased partially back into normal space. The lance cut through the Corathi vessel's shields as if they weren't there, severing critical systems with surgical precision. Direct hit, Voss confirmed. Their propulsion is offline. Target the next vessel, Reyes ordered. Same protocol. One by one, the Eclipse disabled the Corathi ships, moving like a wraith through their formation. Their weapons couldn't touch it, their sensors couldn't track it, and their shields offered no protection against the particle lance that seemed to ignore the laws of physics. Within 20 minutes, the entire Corathi fleet hung dead in space, propulsion systems destroyed but life support intact. Open a channel to all Corathi vessels, Reyes commanded. When the connection was established, she spoke clearly and calmly. Your ships have been disabled, not destroyed. We will provide emergency transponders so the Concord can locate and assist you. But understand this, humanity will no longer surrender its rightful planets. Any future aggression against human colonies will be met with the same response. The communications officer from the Korathi flagship responded, its crystalline form now pulsing with subdued light. This action violates multiple Concord treaties. The consequences. The consequences of attacking human worlds are now clear. Rise interrupted. The TSS Eclipse will remain on patrol in this system until Concord representatives arrive. Rise out. As the transmission ended, a cheer went up from the bridge crew. Rides allowed it for a moment before raising her hand for silence. This victory comes with a cost, she warned them. Today, we've revealed capabilities that the galaxy thought impossible for humans to achieve. The diplomatic fallout will be severe. But we've saved New Eden, Lai pointed out. Yes, Rise nodded. And we've changed humanity's place in the galaxy forever. Unknown to the crew of the Eclipse, recordings of the battle were already spreading through Concord communication channels. Dozens of species watched in stunned disbelief as a single human vessel neutralized an entire Korathi fleet using technology that should have been centuries beyond Earth's development. The galaxy had underestimated humanity. It was a mistake they would not make again. Reckoning and revolution. 17 separate violations of Concord technological restrictions. The Xanthari ambassador's tendrils writhed with agitation as he addressed the emergency session. The human vessel Eclipse has demonstrated capabilities that threaten the very stability of our galactic community. The Concord Chamber, a vast amphitheater carved from living crystal at the heart of neutral space, buzzed with the voices of 100 species. At the center, Earth's ambassador stood alone, facing the assembled representatives of the most powerful civilizations in known space. Ambassador Elena Chen maintained her composure despite the hostile atmosphere. The TSS Eclipse acted in defense of a human colony facing imminent attack. The Korathi violation of our sovereign territory precipitated this incident. The Korathi claim was recognized by Concord arbitration, countered the Vex representative, its gelatinous form pulsing with indignation. An arbitration in which humanity was given no voice, Chen replied firmly. For 80 years, Earth has abided by the technological restrictions imposed upon us. During that time, we have lost 3 colonies to Korathi expansion. When we sought protection from the Concord, we were told non-interference policies prevented action. On the Eclipse, now stationed in orbit around New Eden, Commander Rise watched the proceedings via quantum transmission. The political storm was unfolding exactly as Admiral Hassan had predicted. They're forming a coalition, observed Commander Lai, standing beside her. The Xanthari, Vex, Korathi, and at least 7 other species. All species with expansionist histories, Rise noted. All with territories adjacent to human space. The transmission showed Ambassador Chen standing her ground as accusations mounted. The human representative's voice remained steady. Earth did not seek this confrontation, but neither will we apologize for defending our people. The restrictions placed on human technological development were presented as temporary measures to integrate us safely into the galactic community. After 80 years, it has become clear these restrictions serve only to keep humanity vulnerable and dependent. The Xanthari ambassador's voice cut through the chamber. The Coalition for Galactic Security demands the immediate surrender of the vessel Eclipse and all related technologies. Furthermore, we propose new restrictions on human expansion, limiting Earth to its home system until proper oversight can be established. Ray switched off the transmission, her face grim. And there it is. Liz's expression mirrored her concern. They're using this incident to justify containing us completely. Admiral Hassan is conferring with Earth's Defense Council now, Rice said, but our orders remain unchanged. We protect New Eden at all costs. The quantum communicator chimed, indicating a direct, secure transmission from Earth. Admiral Hassan's weathered face appeared on the screen. Commander, I'll be brief. The Coalition has deployed a fleet to Proxima Centauri. Their stated purpose is to contain the technological threat posed by the Eclipse. How many ships? Rise asked. 47 vessels from 9 different species, Hassan replied gravely. They're not coming to negotiate. Reyes felt the weight of the moment settle onto her shoulders. Our options. Officially, Earth has condemned the eclipse as a rogue project and disavowed knowledge of its capabilities. Hassan's eyes held hers steadily. Unofficially, you are authorized to use all means necessary to protect the eclipse from capture. The technology cannot fall into coalition hands. Understood, Admiral. After the transmission ended, Reyes called her senior officers to the briefing room. The mood was somber as she laid out the situation. The Coalition fleet will arrive in approximately 12 hours, she informed them. Their objective is to capture the eclipse and its technology. They'll have analyzed our previous engagement with the Korathi, Lieutenant Voss pointed out. They'll be prepared for our phase-shifting capabilities. And we're outnumbered nearly 50-1, added Lieutenant Chung. Even with superior technology, those aren't favorable odds. Reyes nodded, which is why we won't be fighting. At least, not in the way they expect. She activated the holographic display in the center of the briefing table, showing the Proxima Centauri system. The Singularity Core doesn't just allow us to phase shift or achieve FTL speeds. According to Dr. Takahashi's research, it can also be used to create a localized distortion in spacetime, a bubble where the laws of physics temporarily operate under different parameters. You're suggesting we use the core as a weapon? Lai asked, concern evident in his voice. I'm suggesting we use it as a demonstration, Reyes corrected. One that will force the Concord to reconsider humanity's place in the galaxy. As the Coalition fleet arrived at Proxima Centauri, the eclipse waited in orbit around New Eden. Commander Reyes stood on the bridge, watching as the massive armada of ships from 9 different species arranged themselves in battle formation. They're hailing us, reported Communications Officer Garcia. On screen, Reyes ordered. The view screen displayed a Zintheri Admiral, its tentacles arranged in a formal gesture of authority. TS Eclipse, this is Admiral Zorval of the Coalition for Galactic Security. Your vessel has been declared in violation of Concord technological restrictions. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. Admiral Zorval, Reyes acknowledged. My vessel acted in defense of a human colony under attack. We have committed no aggressive action against the Concord or its member species. Your possession of prohibited technology constitutes an inherent threat, the Zintheri replied. You have 10 minutes to comply before we take action. When the transmission ended, Reyes turned to her crew. Battle stations. Initiate Singularity Protocol. Throughout the ship, crew members moved with practiced precision to their assigned positions. In engineering, Lieutenant Chang supervised the reconfiguration of the Singularity Core, its quantum field expanding to encompass the entire vessel. Core at 95% capacity, Chang reported. Quantum field stable and expanding. On the tactical display, the Coalition fleet began to move, spreading out to surround the eclipse. Their massive firepower could obliterate the human colony below if they chose. They're powering weapons, Voss announced. Singularity Protocol at full capacity, Chung confirmed. Reyes took a deep breath. Activate the field. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, space itself appeared to ripple outward from the eclipse in concentric waves of distorted light. The Coalition ships nearest to the human vessel suddenly stopped, their propulsion systems failing as the laws of physics altered around them. The field is affecting all vessels within 5,000 kilometers, reported Chung. Their energy weapons won't function within the distortion. Open a channel to Admiral Zorval, Reyes ordered. The Zintheri Admiral's image appeared once more, its tentacles now writhing in what appeared to be alarm. What have you done? I've created a localized distortion in spacetime, Reyes explained calmly. Within this field, your weapons and propulsion systems operate under different physical laws. Specifically, they don't operate at all. Your ships are unharmed, but they are temporarily neutralized. This is unprecedented, the Zintheri exclaimed. Such technology is far beyond what you believe humans capable of developing. Reyes finished for him. Yes, that was the point. She gestured, and the view screen split to show Ambassador Chen addressing the Concord chamber simultaneously. For 8 decades, humanity has been restricted, contained, and dismissed, Chen was saying. The eclipse was not built to threaten the Concord, but to demonstrate that humanity will no longer accept second-class status in the galaxy. The restrictions placed upon us were not about safety or proper development. They were about control. On the bridge of the eclipse, Rise continued where Chen left off. Admiral, the singularity field will dissipate in 1 hour, leaving your ships undamaged. When it does, you have a choice to make. You can attack us, and we will defend ourselves, or you can acknowledge that the balance of power has changed. You cannot expect the Concord to simply accept this demonstration of prohibited technology, the Xanthuri protested. What we expect is to be treated as equals, Rice countered. The technology of the eclipse will not be surrendered or destroyed. Instead, we offer this proposal: a new treaty between Earth and the Concord, one that recognizes humanity's right to defend itself and develop without artificial restrictions. In the Concord chamber, Ambassador Chen was making the same offer. Earth does not seek dominance or expansion. We seek only the right to protect our people and develop according to our own path. In return, we offer collaboration on technologies that could benefit all species. For several tense moments, silence reigned both on the bridge of the eclipse and in the Concord chamber. Then, a new voice joined the conversation, the ancient Morrigan representative, one of the oldest species in the Concord. Perhaps, the Morrigan said, its voice resonating with the wisdom of millennia. It is time to reconsider our approach to emerging species. The humans have demonstrated not only technological ingenuity but remarkable restraint. They disabled the Korathi fleet without casualties and have now neutralized our coalition forces without harm. The Xanthuri admiral's tentacles writhed in agitation, but before he could respond, the Morrigan continued. I move that we establish a working group to negotiate a new framework for human participation in the Concord, one based on respect rather than restriction. Slowly, other voices joined in support. Not all, but enough to indicate a shifting tide. Admiral Zorval's image flickered as he received new orders through his own communications. His tentacles arranged themselves in a gesture of resigned acknowledgement. It seems diplomacy will prevail today, he said finally. When your field dissipates, we will withdraw to a respectful distance pending new instructions from the Concord. As the transmission ended, a collective exhale seemed to pass through the bridge crew. Commander Lai stepped closer to Reyes. Do you think they'll honor it? He asked quietly. Reyes gazed at the frozen coalition fleet suspended in the singularity field. They'll have to. Today we've shown them something they never expected from humanity. Not just technological advancement, but wisdom in how we use it. The eclipse was never meant to be a weapon of war, but a key to unlock humanity's future among the stars. 6 months later, Commander Reyes stood in the observation lounge of the newly established Concord Embassy on Earth, watching as ships from a dozen different species moved through Earth orbit. Among them, the distinctive silhouette of the eclipse stood out, no longer a secret, but a symbol of humanity's new standing in the galactic community. The new accord has been ratified by 27 species, Admiral Hassan reported, joining her at the viewport. The technological restriction policies are being revised for all emerging civilizations, not just humanity. And the Korathi? Rise asked. Surprisingly cooperative since the incident. The Concord has established new protocols for territorial disputes that give younger species more voice in arbitration. Rise nodded, satisfaction evident in her expression. So the eclipse accomplished its mission. In a manner of speaking, Hassan agreed, though not exactly as we planned. The best strategies rarely survive first contact with the enemy. Rise quoted the old military adage, but sometimes they evolve into something better. Outside, the stars seemed brighter somehow, the galaxy suddenly full of new possibilities. The eclipse had been built in defiance of restrictions meant to keep humanity contained and controlled. Now it served as a reminder that true power comes not from weapons or technology, but from the courage to stand one's ground and the wisdom to know when not to fire. The human warship that had been feared by the galaxy had indeed proven too powerful, not because of its advanced weapons or revolutionary drive system, but because it had changed the very nature of interstellar politics forever.